From Rumi to Naina to Swapna and now playing Kritika. Welcome Taapsee to Republic TV. How does it feel to giving one role after the other and that too so powerful and solid?
Actually, it feels nice when it's appreciated, and when it's not, in few cases, then you feel like, okay, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? But then so far, at least I'm happy that people are acknowledging my choices, and that's what I always wanted. I wanted people to acknowledge the kind of films I choose, the roles I choose, and then so I also should have a loyal. I mean, instead of fan base, I'll just say audience base. Who trust me. Who believe that if I'm there in the film, it's worth the time and money. So that's, I think, slowly, steadily happening. So I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. Talking about the big day today, Mission Mangal trailer released. And this movie couldn't have come at a better time when the Indian interest is so extraordinary in space. What was your reason behind doing this film?
2-3 reasons actually. The first one being, yes, when you hear the script, you feel so proud. And so I remember when this mission actually happened, and I was just like, wow, we are the first one to send an orbiter to Mars without failure. So that for me is was a big happy moment as an Indian. So you do feel proud of this whole story. The second thing was, I've chosen most of my films thinking, then the day when I retire and go, have a family, and and my kids probably realize that what work I did, I want to be really proud and happy to show them the kind of films that I have done. And this probably will be one of those films that I'll be really proud and happy to show them that I was a part of. And the third being, I really wanted to share screen space with such wonderful actors together, which is a very rare feat to happen. So that this opportunity I didn't want to let go of.
That was actually my second question, that this film is has such a big ensemble. I mean, do you believe in like a single star undertaking or like a multi-starrer? Does it affect your decision somehow?
See, I won't give you a cliche answer like, for me, only the story matters and all that. Of course, that's every actor's first. Nobody does a bad story just to be the hero of the film. So obviously, stories matter to us. But also, I don't want that perception to go down in my audience that I will only do the films in which I'm in the center. Yeah, because I remember during Surma, one of the person asked me this question during trailer launch. They tell me, why did you say yes to this film? You're not the protagonist in the film. I was like, you people are getting really spoiled. you really want me to be the protagonist in the center of every film I do? It's okay to be a part of a good film also sometimes, provided your role is such that when audience walks out of the theater, they should remember you.
Absolutely.
That's my only criteria. Whenever I say yes or no to a film, one of the reasons is, will my audience remember me when they walk out of the theater? If they don't, then it's not worth doing that role. Then even if the story is great, I don't end up doing films. I want me to be also remembered along with other characters in the film. That's how I choose an ensemble cast like this.
Okay, so what started as like an experiment, as you said, is now your life, acting.
Yes.
So having acted in Hindi, Telugu and Tamil films, do you feel now that you have a case for people who are not from this background, that they can feel that they can make it in Bollywood?
Absolutely, absolutely. Not just that I am one of those case study of sorts, but it's not as bad as people feel. That yes, it is going to be tougher. It's going to be a more testing journey. It is a longer route towards success when you're from the outside and no experience of this world as such and nobody to really guide you. Yes, but it's not that bad that, because I remember when I was getting into it, my parents were actually worried that because of the kind of perception that is made out there about the film industry. Well, any industry has got its good and bad points, right? But unfortunately, because we are in front of the camera and it's a job where so many people pay to watch us on screen, this job is glorified, and then the negative of it comes out and is also glorified. Where I really would want to tell everyone out there who wants to become an actor, wants to come into this industry, it's not that bad. And it is in your hand to say no to a lot of things that you don't like to do. So yes, there'll be testing times, but they're not all bad.
Mhm. But now that you've done so many films, do you feel that you're there, or you're still figuring it out?
This is not a profession in which you can actually feel safe and secure, honestly. If you want to, then you've chosen a wrong profession. Your future depends upon that Friday. If it's a good Friday, yes, you have a few more happy months to look forward to. If it's a bad Friday, then everything, you start seeing that question mark on everything that you do. So your confidence gets shaken up, and it's not just someone like me who's relatively new, but I think the biggest of big stars have question mark in their head when a film doesn't work. It does shake all of us up, because, and if someone says that a failure doesn't really shake them up, then probably it doesn't matter as much.
As you are saying this, when was the last time that you were shaken up like that?
I get shaken up quite often, honestly. When I, say for example, since you were talking about Man Marziyan, well, I expected that film to do even more than what it did, because I felt I loved the film, the people around me loved the film, and trust me when I say people around me, it's not just the industry people, because I'm not really surrounded by the industry people. I'm mostly around regular audience kind of people. And so I was having a pretty, like, a big aspirational number for the collection of the film, and when it didn't touch that number that I thought it will, I obviously felt like, okay, shaken up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, then I realized probably some films have a different type of audience, who, when people who loved Man Marziyan loved it to some other level, and
I'm
people,
one of them.
yeah, so people who just couldn't connect. Love stories are such, either you get them or you don't get them. There's no midway to it. So I made peace with that. So things do shake me. When I lose a film, I get shaken up. The films that I really wanted to do and I don't get them, or I lose them for some reason, it shakes me up. So I do get shaken up quite
There
often.
was one instance.
There
I
were
said
multiple
you-
instances. There have been instances where I've been not, like, I've been shaken up because someone took away a film from me because I don't have a big lineage to, like, really show that I am so and so's daughter or so and so's family. That has happened. I think it has happened
You've
probably.
Yeah, and you've opened up about the unprofessionalism.
Yes,
that
it has
comes.
happened that way also. I got to know from media that I'm not a part of a film, which I thought I had reserved my dates for. It has happened with me that people have said that, we can't make a film. After having narrations done, my films have been taken away because they felt that they cannot mount a film of that budget with a female protagonist. So where there is a film like Badla, where I actually pushed the switchover of the gender to happen. My role was originally written for a man, and then a few months later, in spite of the success of Badla, I have gone through a rejection where a film has been taken away from me because I'm a female. Because you'll not get a certain budget approved, which is required for the film, because it's a female. So you need to change it into a male.
So you hold grudges when something like that happens?
See, I follow one very, very major rule. Hate the sin, not the sinner. I've done that with every time I've voiced my thing, that even when that whole unprofessional thing happened with me, when my dates were wasted, I called out the practice. I still meet the producers and I still know them well. I've met them after that also. I have discussed this outright in open, what I felt about it. And they've been nice to me as well after that. But I hate the fact that this kind of practice happens. The fact that our films are taken away because we don't belong to a certain family, or the fact that I'm a female, budget of my films is pulled down if I'm the protagonist. I want to call out these practices.
And the surprising part is that after the success of Badla.
Yes. And come what may, they'll not really credit me as much. They will acknowledge it but not credit me, because of course you had a huge star like Amitabh Bachchan in the film. So it will always be like, acha, that happened because of that. So which, I mean, like, okay, I can't do much about it. Probably try again to do some other film in which they'll probably realize that even when there's only the female protagonist, then a film can make money. I'm still trying to prove that, and I'll continue doing that, so that one fine day I don't have to hear that because you're a female, we can't have this amount of budget for your film.
Absolutely. Talking about lineage, you have not professed that you belong to a certain camp in Bollywood, as they say, but your friendship and your bond with directors like Shujit Sikar or Anurag Kashyap is out in the open. Everybody knows it. What for you? What does friendship in Bollywood mean, and who are your real friends in Bollywood?
Actually, I'm in very good terms with all the directors I've worked with, be it Shujit Da, be it David Sir also. That's just that he's not on Twitter, so you can't really see that. He actually calls me more often than any other director does to check on if I'm fine, because he was my first director and he somehow feels that, ye meri ladki hai kind of a thing. So he calls me after every few weeks to check if everything's okay and how I'm doing and all. So that's really sweet of him. So he's still in touch, and Shujit Da, Anurag, Anubhav Sir, Shujoy. I don't think they all belong to a camp, right? So that's why people are not able to put me in a camp, and because all these guys I have such good relationship with, and it's not just limited to the fact that I do films with them or I do films again with them. I do sit and chill with them without an agenda as well, because it was such a good time to work with them, and I think that's how I make my friends. So I have friends; these are all my friends, but it's not like I want to make friendships for an agenda. It's not because I want them to give me more films is why I make friends with them. It's just that something clicked, because probably all of them have come from diverse backgrounds, not conventionally here. I think maybe that has connected. That honesty, all of them very honest individuals, that really connected. And I think it's going to happen. More and more people I meet like this, I'll make friends like this. So, yeah, this is my own little camp.
Let's call that your camp.
Well, then it's all of our camp, and that's quite an elite camp. Let me just tell you, if these guys are all going to be in one camp, it's quite an elite camp.
I agree with that. Talking about the two big films, Saan Ki Aankh and Mission Mangal, two poles apart in terms of the characters you're playing. How do you withdraw yourself from one and dive into other? Is it difficult?
It's very difficult. It's making me a little off person somewhere, and it does sound funny when I talk about it, but honestly it's true. That's the cost. It's a cost that we pay to be an actor. Fortunately or unfortunately, most of my films are highly demanding in terms of characters, and it does change something in my mind after I finish a film. Mission Mangal, well, not so much, because it's an ensemble cast. There were a very limited number of days for everyone, and it's not a character that it's a relatively lighter film in terms of character sketch, but it makes you feel deeply about your country. But other films, be it Badla to an extent, even Game Over, and now Saan Ki Aankh, all these films did drain me a lot and did change something in my mind. I think I've become a much more moody person than I used to be before, because you're just switching in and out so much out of characters that's not you in real. Your mind gets confused, or I don't know what happens, that it becomes, I also don't know how will I react to a certain situation, because the switch has happened so many times that somewhere you tend to lose the control of your mind somewhere. And I've felt that. I don't know about others, I have felt that sometimes even I can't predict how I'm going to react to a certain situation. When I come out of a film like Badla, my mood swings are different, my choices of clothes to my words are different. When I come out of a Saan Ki Aankh, my way of dressing changes, my way of talking changes. When Manmarzia happened, I became a totally different, aggressive person in real life. So it does change a bit in me after every such kind of an intense film.
And how do you cope up with that?
I have to, as I said, it's the price that I pay to be an actor. There's no escape from it. Yes, if it becomes severe to an extent that it's harming things around me, I'll go through a therapy, which I'm pretty much open to if it affects me that much or people around me start getting affected. But as of now, things haven't really gone that far. It has been pretty much under control. I go for a holiday, I totally disconnect from work. No work happening for whatever time, 5 days, 7 days, whatever I have before I start my next film. Total detox of mind happens. Then I come back. I really don't hang out with a lot of film related people, because so I can come back to a life where films are not really a part of that life. So just try to do these small things to help me detox. Yeah, so hopefully things are fine right now, but if it doesn't, I'm pretty much open to taking help.
Okay. Talking about San Ki Aankh, what is your take on actors playing biopics where they don't look like the person? Like, what is your take on that?
I don't think it's always possible to get actors who look exactly like the actors that you're portraying. It's did you make people feel what the character went through is more important than just to look, because physically there are a lot of things that we cannot really tick mark. Sometimes you do look like, I might look like, say a lot of people say that I look like Carolina Marin, the badminton player who's luckily in my team. But there's like there is, if a biopic on her gets made in Spain, I don't think they're going to take me just because I look like her. So it's not always going to work like that. But what, as I said, what is important is, do I make people feel what that character went through? If that happens, that's good enough.
Just shifting to a little lighter note, you recently joked about not being invited to a big Bollywood coffee table on Twitter.
Did I joke about that?
Yes, you did.
When Veer Das' comment. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about that? Does it hold importance for you?
Honestly, it was not meant to show that, why did you not invite me? It was not coming from there. It was coming from the fact that my name was mentioned there, on that set, for that set, but I still don't qualify. I just love to take certain jibes at certain situations which come naturally when I hear something or read something. Sometimes I don't really think that deeply into it before saying things. So I thought I said it in a very funny line.
No, it was definitely funny, but my question...
No, it didn't. If you ask me otherwise in real, if it really means, it's a show of a certain producer or certain show director, and they don't think I'm qualified or fit enough to be a part of that show. It's just a show.
Even after doing so many good films.
So when did that become a benchmark of how good you are as an actor?
Absolutely.
The people...
That was my question.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it hold importance for you?
It doesn't bother me. If they invite me, I would love to go. But it's not like because they don't invite me, I'm not worth being an actor. I don't think that's...
It doesn't bother you.
Yeah, so it's who made a certain show, any show for that matter, a benchmark to decide how good an actor X,
or
Y,
how
Z
successful
is.
an actor
Yeah,
is.
exactly. It doesn't matter at all.
So you've been combative on social media of lately. Like you don't shy away from giving it back to either trolls or to even celebrities for that matter sometimes. Does it get to you? What goes through your mind when you're actually like typing that answer on Twitter? Okay.
Most of them are very spontaneous, because when I read something which tempts me to write something, I immediately write it, and then I actually just proofread it for the sake, am I hitting someone below the belt? Like, am I targeting a person? Because I don't like to pull down people and be nasty, and I make sure my language is not, derogatory or demeaning. It should be it's mostly written in a humorous way, and there's a certain language and a certain way I write to reply, and I don't want to make it look nasty and cheap, and so I just check it for that. Other than that, if they have the right to write all this to me, so have I. We live in the same country, we have the same rights and duties given to us, and we both are free to exercise it.
Okay, very well said over there. Coming to a little lighter note, how would you define your personal space?
Okay, personal space. As I said, it is very much. First of all, let me tell you, it exists. Because a lot of people, and they tell me also to change this answer and expect me to say things differently, because I'm an actress now, and someone who's probably looked upon at it in a certain way. I should say things like, films are my life, and I breathe cinema like this. I love my job, but I do have a life beyond films, and that is probably what is giving me strength and confidence to do the kind of stuff I'm doing. I have cut and pack up in life. I don't have a facade to maintain. I get my work done, I go back home, and there's no movie or movie conversations that happen back home. It's a life totally disconnected from film. That's my personal space, which is totally disconnected from my professional space. And I have voluntarily, wantedly kept it so. And I want to keep it like that. Because I really want to grow as a human being also, not just as an actor. And growing as a human being actually helps me grow as an actor. So I have kept it like that, and I would want to keep it like that in the future.
What would be your dream role?
Avengers. I want to be a superhero in
Superhero.
Avengers. Yes.
Gym or diet? What is your take on fitness?
Actually, I would say play a sport. I love sports and I play squash. I really request everyone, whoever likes to stay fit, to pick up a sport.
And how important are the airport looks for you?
I've given up on them. I have seriously given up on them. I don't know. I don't really, I mean, if I get packed, great. If I don't also, I don't care. Now I dress up the way I want to dress up. As it is, we dress up way too much for public in our events and interviews and all that. At least at airport and all that, I want to dress up like how I want to dress up. So it's my look.
What is Taapsee Pannu's relationship status?
Well, I'm not married as yet.
Yes.
So let's just say that.
And when is the big announcement happening?
See, whenever I'm ready to start a family, like, have a kid, or people might just find this answer sometimes stupid, or I don't know what all they say. But the fact is, if I have to have companionship, I can be with someone even without getting married today. It's not, marriages are not the strongest relationships in today's day and age. And, if I really want to be with someone, I can spend my life without getting married with that person. But having said that, I do want to start a family one day. I want to have kids. So when I decide, okay, I'm ready to take that plunge and start a family, is when I decide to get married.
When will Taapsee Pannu be doing a YRF or a Dharma film?
When they offer me one. I've not gotten one as yet.
What is your take on being snubbed at award shows?
I'm too used to it now. Now I will be pleasantly surprised if they entertain me, honestly.
But I mean, what goes through your mind? I mean,
I was very heartbroken 2 years back during Pink when the snub happened, because with the love that film got or still gets actually, that was heartbreaking. Because I remember Shujita had called me after seeing the rushes of the film and while edit was on, that tu kapde silwa le इस साल तो, मतलब इस साल तो तू बस कपड़े सिलवा ले, तैयार हो जाओ award shows जाने. And then most of them didn't even nominate me, and of course I didn't get any awards that year. So that was quite hurtful that year, heartbreaking. But that year made me take a pledge, which I follow till date. Well, I love trophies in my house. I would love to collect all of them. I have nothing against, I will not attend award shows from now on, no, nothing like that. But every year I'll give them a performance which is worth mentioning. Every year they'll snub me, and I'll make sure one fine day I don't have to talk and say, I deserve this. My audience will talk for me, which in a way started a little bit last year when it happened, when Man Marziyan was not nominated at a lot of places. I didn't get any award for being Rumi. Probably one of the most loved characters in my career, and that year. So that was, that year I was not surprised, honestly, because I had seen that happening before with me. But I was pleasantly surprised with the number of articles and people coming up and pointing that out and speaking on my behalf. That is true victory. Who does that? Now, tell me that. I mean, my audience is talking for me. I think that is my biggest victory. And I'll every year give them a performance. They'll snub me every year, and slowly my audience will start snubbing them.
Let's hope that's not the case this year, because you've given some amazing performance with Badla and with Game Over.
Yeah, but then there are more to come. I think
more to come.
I hope I have a very good end to the year with Sand Ki Aankh.
You do like 2 to 3 films a year.
4 films in a year, because I have to do one South film for sure, because I will never give up on that industry where I started. So I have 1 film in South every year and at least 3 in Hindi. And last year I had 5 releases. This year, last year I had 5 releases. Yeah, this year I have 4. Next year I will surely have 4.
Wow, and it doesn't get taxing?
It does. But as I said, I love my job, is why I'm able to manage it.
These days actors are just like picking up 1 or 2 films a year, whereas you are doing 4.
Well, I get really good scripts. I can't say no to. I'm very greedy with good scripts. I don't feel like letting go of a good script from my hand, and I will slow down when I feel that okay, now I have made a mark where I don't have to still force myself on screen to make people see and acknowledge the kind of work I do. When I feel that they have registered me well, I think I'll slow down that time.
And it's just not 4 films that she does. You are also an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Not many people know that. So how do you balance that as well?
As I said,
You have a badminton team. You
Yeah.
have a wedding
planning
company.
company. Yes, wedding planning company. Well, that's is relatively easier because my sister manages that for me. So I'm only there to take the major decisions and not really for the groundwork. So that kind of helps having her with me. But the other thing is a badminton team, and I love sports. So I thought I'll just own a team. So yeah, that's a good way to get connected, stay connected with sports. And as I said, I love it, so I'm able to manage it. That's why I could manage all movies and this as well.
Are you open to act in web series or shift to the digital?
I'm not saying no to that. I'm just saying give me something which is much more than what I'm already getting in films, in cinema, in not regular theatrical films. Only then it's worth to venture into OTT platform. If I'm going to get the same stuff to do there, I might as well. I'm doing it here already. So what's new and different in it? So when I get something worth different, then I'll definitely step into OTT.
And what are the current shows that you're binging on?
Oh, I have Big Little Lies, Big Little Liars, or I get confused between
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies,
And
yeah.
the finale is on Monday.
Yeah, I'm so doomed. I saw the second last episode without waiting for the last one to come in, and I'm dying waiting for it now.
And any Hindi web series?
I saw Made in Heaven last, which was wonderful.
Yes, it was. What are your future films that you are signing or you are already
So
in
this
pipeline?
year, I will, after Mission Mangal releases, I'm starting a South film, a Tamil film of mine, which is going to be an action thriller, an espionage thriller. After that, I'm doing a film with Anubhav Sinha again. After that, I release Sand Ki Aankh in Diwali in October. And then I get into a film which is a supernatural thriller with Anurag Kashyap. These are announced. Next year's calendar, I'll tell you when I sign it.
Very well. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And I'm looking forward to Sand Ki Aankh for sure.
Thank you so much.